The Jedi Order has more or less been the actual symbol of the Republic prosperity for the past several thousand years. Time and time again, the Republic fell into disarray or had a war come upon them, and each time it was the Jedi that rose to their defense and to the defense of the innocent. The Republic and the Jedi had become so integral to one another that it eventually would cause both of their downfalls to occur at the end of the Clone Wars. But before then, anytime there was a problem to threaten peace and justice of the Republic, you can bet that the Jedi were right there to fix it all. By all accounts, one might think that the citizens of the galaxy would adore the Jedi Knights and hail them as heroes wherever they went. However, things were not so simple nor favorable for the wielders of the light side. While the Republic citizens enjoyed the freedom and peace that came with being protected by the Jedi, they most certainly did not feel safe. In fact, today we have uncovered a certain source that suggests that the time before Revenge of the Sith, most citizens of the galaxy actively feared the Jedi, the peacekeepers that had saved them for generations and thousands of years. So how did this come about, and come about so quickly? Was it propaganda by Sidious, the people's general misunderstanding of how the Force worked? Or perhaps something much deeper and more terrible? Perhaps it is far more tragic than any of these. Only one way to find out. Come along with us today, my friends and acolytes, as we open up yet another holocron, explaining exactly why the innocents despised and actively feared the Jedi. Our source today comes from the very beginning of the Revenge of the Sith novelization, wherein we get a narration of what all of the citizens of the Republic are feeling whilst helplessly watching Coruscant get attacked by the Separatists. General Grievous has swept in and snatched their beloved Chancellor Palpatine, and now it seemed as if all hope was lost for the war. Everyone was waiting on the edge of their seats for the arrival of Kenobi and Anakin in order to bring an end to the terrible development. However, many of the adults were worried that Anakin and Kenobi may not show up because they are trapped, delayed, or even dead. The book then goes on to say that some citizens of the galaxy are worried that the two Jedi might have even fallen. We are going to read now from the book directly so that we can understand the mind of the collective citizens of the Republic. They might have fallen because the stories are out there. Not on the HoloNet, of course. The HoloNet news is under the control of the Office of the Supreme Chancellor, and not even Palpatine's renowned candor would allow tales like these to be told. But still, people hear whispers. Whispers of names that the Jedi would like to pretend never existed. Sora Bulk, Depa Billaba, Jedi who have fallen to the dark side, who have joined the Separatists, or worse, who have massacred civilians, or even murdered their comrades. The adults have a sickening suspicion that the Jedi cannot be trusted. Not anymore. That even the greatest of them can suddenly just snap. This chilling passage lays things out pretty plainly, but what sticks out the most about the entire thing is that the average citizens are aware of fallen Jedi and know their names like Sora Bulk and Depa Billaba. Sora Bulk was a Jedi Master present on Geonosis, and he had been one of Mace Windu's colleagues, the man who helped him in the creation of the Lightsaber 7 form variant, Vaapad. Because of the nature of the form, this brought the Jedi dangerously close to the dark side, and Sora Bulk would be the first to fall victim to its allure. Sora Bulk would lead a revolt against the Jedi, and in Legends, he even killed the council member Oppo Rancisis. Depa Billaba might confuse a few people, as she in canon is the master of Kanan Jarrus, and died during Order 66. However, in Legends, Depa would fall to the dark side after losing her sanity on a jungle world due to the horrors of the Clone War. She was plagued by nightmares, and finally just snapped and went rogue, but not before sending a concerning message back to the office of the Supreme Chancellor. Mace Windu coincidentally also had to deal with this situation personally, because Master Billaba, Mace Windu's own former apprentice, also knew Vaapad, making her a distinct threat if she was allowed to go rogue. If the common individual of the galaxy knew of these names like Barriss Offee, Quinlan Vos, and maybe even Pong Krell would quickly be on their tongues. It was believed that Depa and Sora Bulk were private Jedi matters, but no. The citizens of the very Republic, the galaxy, knew of them, knew of these beings that wielded exceptional power, that were turning to the dark side in record numbers. And now I will mention a name that every citizen of the Republic knew, Count Dooku, the leader of the Separatist political party. With this though also raises a dangerous question. How exactly does the average person of the galaxy know of these instances? Well, we believe that they were cleverly spread as covert propaganda by Sidious to people of the Republic so that the seeds of doubt and fear for the Jedi would be carefully planted and cultivated over the course of the war. However, it is interesting that we are actually told specifically that the HoloNet news does not play stories of fallen Jedi. It is even stated that not even Palpatine allows these stories to be run publicly, which means Sidious had to spread them by other means. Sidious played his hand very carefully in these scenarios. After all, he needed to maintain his cover above anything. His cover is Chancellor to the Republic and friend to the Jedi. It all hinges on the fact that Palpatine's arrest comes at such as a shock because Palpatine himself was such a clear and public supporter of the Jedi. If he slipped up and revealed that they are not as chummy and friendly as they really are, then this would mean disaster. Sidious would need these tales of the fallen Jedi to go through other informants. Perhaps loud and drunk clone troopers in the bar have spread this information, or a few average citizens were given this news to gossip freely with. There is also a possibility that Dooku and the Separatist media run these stories, and the Republic citizens hear of it through trade. However it was spread, though, all the breadcrumbs would eventually lead directly back to Palpatine. This was a dark time for the Republic. The war was creeping closer and closer to their doorstep. The Jedi were spread thin, and those that weren't dropping by the dozens were apparently turning to the dark sides. News of 5 or 6 of them going rogue was exceptionally rare, and killing groups of people to inspire quite a bit of rage and mistrust worked brilliantly. Guardians of the peace, they were killing people now, the very people they protected for generations. The citizens know that after all, the Jedi may be an elite organization of warrior monks, but in the end, they're still people, flawed, and prone to the same things that the average person is prone to. The problem is, though, the Jedi are just as flawed people that wield a great power far beyond anything the average galactic citizen has ever known. The time of the oppression of the Sith was over in the eyes of the average citizen. And now, the Jedi were taking over. When you look at it this way, it's no wonder that the common people of the galaxy would be terrified if one of the Jedi were to just snap. Anyway, my friends, we hope you enjoyed this breakdown and analysis like many of the others. I think this provides insight as to why Palpatine's story of the Jedi trying to overthrow him was so believable to the masses. But we would like to hear your thoughts and feelings on the topic, and if you could possibly relate to what the citizens were feeling at this point in time. Until next time, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.